These are my best tips after beating the game on Japanese hard. Tip number 1. Be patient and don't move too far forward at once. Move forward just enough to trigger the next enemy wave and then stay in the backfield and use your guns just for a little bit until you know what you're dealing with. It's easy to get ahead of yourself and feel like you can take everything out with your sword. Don't get lured out into gunfire and melee attacks from all directions. The difficulty is all over the place in this game, so just because you killed the last 2 waves easily with just your sword, doesn't mean the next wave won't wipe you out instantly. With the long checkpoints, it's important that you take it one fight at a time and use this strategy for every fight. Tip number 2. Know when to use your sword and when to use your guns. It may seem like the guns don't do much at first, but they are equally as important as your sword. A simple rule to follow is that any enemy that's trying to melee you should be dealt with by melee also. This is so you can save your ammo for the guys you can't reach without getting shot up. I like to pull the melee enemies, especially the tougher ones, back away from the gunfire so we can fight in peace. Tip number 3, speaking of fighting in peace, my next tip is to isolate enemies the best you can. This especially applies to tougher enemies that require your full attention to fight. There's nothing wrong with pulling an enemy back the way you came to have a good old one-on-one. All the ruckus and worrying about being shot and hit will definitely make you miss your parries and timing. The least you can do is allow yourself to focus. Tip number 4. Use the environment. Shooting the explosive barrels on the floor is pretty obvious, but not just that. Pay attention to the layout of the environment so you know when and where to throw grenades or where you can cut charging enemies off with an incendiary grenade. The pressure can break you in this game, so finding a way to balance is essential. Tip number 5. Upgrade smart. You probably noticed that melee attacks do much more damage than ranged attacks. This makes it really punishing until you get your sword game right. These upgrades will make the game a little more forgiving so you can up your sword game ASAP. After the forced bullet time upgrade, the next one you want to get is extended dodge. You can't get anywhere fast without this upgrade, plus it opens up the rest of the defense tree. These are the next upgrades you'll want to get in whatever order you think will benefit you best. Parry follow-up allows you to perform a follow-up attack right after a parry. This follow-up attack happens to be extremely strong, so just a couple of these can drastically shorten a fight. This becomes even more important against ninjas and any stronger enemy. Severed Arm Finishing Strike is essential for just general fighting and will allow you to finish waves of enemies much quicker. Guard Strength Increase allows you to safely guard 1 additional melee attack for a total of 2 melee attacks back to back. Sometimes you won't be able to parry everything, and this gives you some insurance. A lot of melee enemies will also attack in more than just 2-hit combos, so you can see how this could help. You should always aim to parry though, as the game doesn't allow you to regular block more than just 2 hits in a row. Armor Reinforced and Increased Melee Defense are some other ones, and it's pretty obvious how those could help. Power Parry helps so you can get used to only having to focus on 1 parry button instead of 2. I found myself getting caught a lot of times by the red attack because I was still using the regular parry button for it. Buying this upgrade also opens up the best melee upgrade in the game, which is the Parry Window Increase. This upgrade makes it so you can pretty much just keep tapping the parry button and nothing will hit you. Enough said. Of course, there's a lot of other useful upgrades in the game. Those are some of the best for upping your sword game ASAP, as the melee fights will usually be the ones to send you all the way back to the last checkpoint. Those are the best tips I can give after pretty much mastering the game and beating it on Japanese hard. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.